Remember when I used to test the myths you guys wrote in the comments? It was a lot of fun. But over time, all the myths were a bit of a one-size-fits-all. Since then, I've been periodically tagged under videos that have some weird and obscure stuff that looks like the truth, but still smacks of deception. In other words, new video myths from the internet that you need to check out. Put likes, subscribe, and after you watch them, write me afterwards to tell me if I should keep making more of them. I think 20,000 likes will be enough. Let's go check it out. Okay, the first myth really intrigued me. We all know that if a skeleton kills a keeper with his arrow, we get a music CD. And that's far from news. But here the author claims that if the skeleton shoots, the arrow will pass through the lava, and after it hits the dynamite, then every keeper who dies from the explosion will leave behind a cherished record. Let's go check it out. Sounds too good to be true to me. But that's what we're here for. First we need to trap the skeleton, then dig a small 3x3 deep hole, also 3 blocks deep. In the middle we place dynamite, then collect a bunch of cruisers. Skeletons are best. Give a name with a tag, so that he will not be executed. After through the block from the skeleton place lava and try to dodge his own arrow. As soon as the skeleton hits the dynamite, it activates. And to my great surprise, it works. The first time I checked it out, my jaw almost dropped. But still, the myth is confirmed. Use and choose your music records. The next myth tries to introduce us to the idea that if we place a few units of stone dust, then pistons and watchers, and then place a bed right on top of them, this will happen. The bed can destroy the hip as well as the portal frame to the edge. Let's try this. I dug a hole, placed new dust, placed regular pistons and then already observers. When the moment of truth came, drum roll. Naturally, nothing happened, the signal overlaps, so I had to redesign the circuit a bit. And even after that, one bed fell out too, replacing the pistons with sticky ones. The situation remained the same. Even if you leave one piston sticky and one regular piston, nothing happens. This myth is a total fake. Their author still at the end generally airdrops out of which he barter blocks. If the previous myth did not surprise you much with its stupidity, then this one will definitely surprise you. The fact is that this time we are offered to extract a breeding ground of monsters as a block. To do this, they build an unusual mechanism out of 100 rails. Then they add more sticky piston, blocks of slime. In general, let's not pull on the beard, let's check it out. And place the rails. Exactly the same amount as the author of the video. Poured redstone dust and added repeat. Even the blocks used, such as he had placed stone torch, carried stone to the breeding ground near him, already put a sticky piston and under it slime. Now we'll place the carriages. We press the lever and see that nothing happens. Wagonettes just passes by without interacting with the breeding ground. I agree. I also thought I'd try to naturally generate smoke with the monster breeding ground. After going through the same steps, I didn't get the desired result. Again, the myth is busted. The next myth I saw goes to the status of terrible Microsoft clones. All from the fact that the author of the video demonstrates the official Microsoft version on the player, drawing attention to its price tag. Then for a moment he demonstrates some app called Unreal Android, then shows a recording of the game, demonstrating right the real Microsoft. It even has Kefir. I was intrigued by this, but for some reason I thought it was 100% old version of Microsoft, which is very often used by detractors and developers. Eventually indeed I found such an application and downloaded it. As it turned out, it's all in Spanish, but I still figured it out on an intuitive level. Actually, it's not Microsoft at all, it's a kind of hub where you can choose a really real version of Microsoft. To do that, you have to watch an advertisement. And then the app takes us to a site where we download Microsoft. I still don't understand by what miracle this app exists in Tor, but part of the myth is sort of confirmed. To lighten things up a bit and look at a construction myth. The author claims that if you put an armor rack on a rebirth anchor, and then flip it over with a tag, give it a sword, choose a pose, and throw an invisibility potion at it, we'll get a beautiful sword in that anchor. Wow, that's beautiful. But there's one but. This is the TB version. Unfortunately, for some reason the developers still haven't added the ability to change poses with armor stands. But that's not the point. Let's check. Form the sword, create a tag for yourself immediately. After that we place the anchor of rebirth and add a holy stone to it. Be careful. I got so carried away that I activated it in the upper world. Placing the rack, I give the sword a tag and choose the pose of the moment of truth. Throwing the invisibility potion. And it actually worked. Myth confirmed, it looks really nice. But there's a downside: when the invisibility potion runs out, the rack will reappear. Moving on. In the next video we are told that crops will grow twice as fast if they are placed near another type of crops, for example, potatoes near carrots or wheat and so on. Strange advice, but let's give it a try. I decided to use potatoes and carrots to for more visibility plow the land. I planted it on both sides in a flash and started waiting to see how long it would take for any crop to grow to 100%. In just 16 minutes, the bed was fully ripe with potatoes. It's too early to draw any conclusions. Let's do another experiment. Now let's plant potatoes and carrots separately from each other at a distance of 5 blocks and time how long this sowing will grow. This time too, it was the potato that finished first. It grew in just 14.5 minutes. So we can officially say that the myth is busted. Crops will not grow faster if they are planted next to each other. The next myth concerns a friend of Crafts. But not to worry, we'll be shown how to build a real portal to heaven. Wait. I said real, not functional. Roughly speaking, we need to use wet sponges, buckets of water and an easy lighter. Let's try this. We place the holy stone as a portal at the bottom, and then place the wet sponges on the second block from the top, set them on fire, and then pour a bucket of water on the fire. And unfortunately, crash. The myth is shattered, it didn't work. I tried several more times, trying to place the blocks differently, but the result, unfortunately, did not change. The author of the next myth claims that if we press the key and the space bar while jumping from a height, and press the button to paint while landing, we won't take damage. But it only works in single player mode. Let's go check it out. I found the high terrain, it just perfectly suited our task and began to check. Naturally, I didn't succeed the first time. But I still did not get frustrated and tried a couple dozen more times. In the end I still failed. Maybe there was a bug in one of the pilots, so it could have been done, but now it doesn't work, which means the myth is completely destroyed. Our next myth is also from the author of the previous myth, so I'm very skeptical of it. It shows that you can climb endlessly with just 2 buckets of loose snow and leather boots. Okay, that should work. I do everything exactly as shown in the video. I put 2 blocks of loose snow and take the leather boots in the column. And yes, I was able to climb to the top with ease. Now with a slight movement of my hand I remove the loose snow into a bucket, put it in front of me and again get out on top. The myth is completely confirmed. It works, and it's very convenient, especially quite quickly, given that I don't have to break any blocks. The loose snow goes into the bucket in no time. Okay, the mythos we'll test next is about how safe it is to explore a tomb in a deserted temple. More precisely even, what to do if you accidentally or even intentionally activated a dynamite trap. To do this, simply fill the top block with water. The explosion won't do anything bad, believe me. I've been in this kind of trouble very often, and it never occurred to me to pour the water out. Who knows, it might work. At least in the water. Dynamite doesn't break blocks unless of course you put sand on it before activation. Then the explosion will destroy the blocks. But do not be distracted by the deserted temple, pretend that accidentally stepped on. Quickly break the slab and sandstone, pour water in and boom, we are alive. So considering I had no armor, I still survived the blast. That's awesome. Myth confirmed. Use it. The next myth I've heard, I've even put it in my myth checker, but I never bothered to check it out. The thing is that boots enchanted for ice flow should work even on armored rains. We run to check it, place the armor rack, go to scoop our boots on the ice fall of the second level. Then we place the slime blocks, followed immediately by the sticky piston. All that's left is to activate the piston. Ready. Boom. It actually worked. Myth confirmed by Charlie. Proceeds extend to the armor rack. If I'd heard anything about the previous myth, this was the first time I'd ever heard of it. The fact is that chests cannot open if a full block is placed above it. The author of the myth demonstrates that under ordinary dirt the chest will not open, but if you plow it, everything will work. I'm interested, so I run to check the chest there is, placing regular dirt over it, taking the super ultra cool dirt and recalling it. And the chest does indeed open. Myth confirmed. It turns out, in this way you can hide your chests from ill-wishers. I'm already very negative on the next myth because of what's in the boat. The anvil smacks of deception. But the author claims that if the scissors break the left roots in which there was water, they will be able to spill water in the bottoms. You'll agree it all sounds pretty much as good as it really is. Let's check them. Our scissors on Silk Touch find the brain swamp, in particular the roots, and pour water there, but not simple. You have to put the frogs in there first, whose spawn, yes, you had to do just that in there. Then we kind of get a bucket with a head. In reality, there is no such recipe. I even checked the Hypto version just in case, and it doesn't exist there either. It's already calling everything into question. Okay, let's take a regular bucket with a head and release its contents into the game roots. Breaking these roots now with a pair of scissors. The water, of course, remains in place. We go to the world, place it, and, of course, no water is observed there. The myth is shattered. I even went to Microsoft's bug tracker to look to see if there was such a bug. But unfortunately, there isn't. The next myth again looks like something incredible, something that is very hard to believe. The author says we can move 3 times faster on unusual stairs. Let's put that to the test. I think it's a lie again. But we have to test it. First, we place a stove, a chest next to it, a glass panel on top of it, then a bell and, of course, a cake. But it needs to be eaten up a bit, leaving only 2 pieces. The final stage is the wooden trapdoor. Do you think this will work? Take it, pause it, go to the comments section and honestly, without peeking, write down what you think. Ready 3, 2, 1. It's working. I have no idea why. But it did work. Probably because of the block pattern. But damn it, it's alive. The myth is completely confirmed. Only question is, would you go to that much trouble to build a staircase like that? I don't even want to say anything about the next one. Just take a look for yourself. I think you realize this is about as stupid as it gets. But okay, why not? Let's check it out. We find a village, then build this unusual mechanism, place the bed and of course the bell. Now we need to place exactly 9 beds in front of it. That's not difficult. But already while I'm placing them, they break and fall out as an ordinary item. That is, they don't become invisible. Once I've done that, I call all the inhabitants using the bell and nothing happens. The myth is destroyed. They don't lay on top of each other in a column like that video showed. The myths turned out great today. In some places they surprised me with their functionality, and in others I didn't even doubt that they didn't work. If you see any other interesting myths, reply in the comments with my nickname so I'll check them out in the next video. Also check out these videos, they are also very interesting. Like, subscribe.